So, what we're going to do today is something that I learned how to do not too long ago, a couple months in real time, but in characters, maybe say 2 or 3 characters ago, and that is to get a good bow running. This is a Hyrcanian bow, or Hyrcanian, yeah, I can read, Hyrcanian bow, and it's available in your 20s, I believe. Let's take a look. First of all, if you're going to get the better bows, you have to learn Archer in the first place, and before that Apprentice Craftsman, of course. This is one of the nicer things I like about their system, is it shows you actually what's available afterwards. And this Hyrcanian bow is available at level 30. A little late, but you can get good with this bow. They work the same. They don't do as much damage, but the dynamics are the same. And then after you've gotten good with these, the one you really want in this game is the ancient one, which I don't qualify for yet because I'm not level 50. The ancient bow. This one is available at level 45, not 50. Okay, which means that I'm coming up on here really quick. But what you need to build this is you need silk. And for silk, the easiest place to find silk in the game is from some of the bugs, but mostly the spiders. And that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to find this stuff so that when we hit 45, which is not far from now, we might even possibly level while we're doing the video. Didn't plan it that way, but hey, that'd be cool. We'll get that better bow made, and I'll show you some of the dynamics of the bow. As you're learning, these arrows are not bad at all. They're cheap. They're cheap as can be. You pick up, the game calls them branches, I call them sticks. You pick up the sticks off the ground. You get them when you chop trees with a hatchet. And it doesn't take too many of them. I think two branches, and then while you're running along, you can just pick up stones like this, or usually what I'll do is I'll take out my pick and go bang, 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 and watch the count over here. I've got 93 in my inventory, 114, which means you need to make these flint head arrows. You need 10 rocks, 2 branches, 10 stone, 2 branches. So when you've got some branches on you and a couple rocks, you're never without ammo. And if you have a decent bow, the bow does a lot of the damage. And I could just hit this thing, and while I'm running, and I've got so many, on here. If you haven't done this before, let me show you. Put your bow in your inventory, drag the ammunition you want to use on top of it. I've also got iron head arrows, which are good. They do more damage. Flint heads do 16 damage. The iron heads do 23 damage. Let's say you're at level 15, which I believe is when you can first get iron head arrows with this called the arbalist. And when you learn the crossbow, not that I've ever used one, but in that package are iron head arrows, which do better damage, almost 50% more than the flint heads. So if you are here at level 15 picking this up, you've got this bow because you don't qualify to have the Hyrcanian bow yet because you're not level 30 and you want to use better ammunition. That's a good way to do it. At level 15, learn the iron head arrows, but of course you need a ready-made supply of iron nearby and a couple forges so that you can make it in pretty quick time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the spider caves. Note that, and can I show you where this is still? Can we still see it from here? Yes. There's the hand of the creator, and I'm headed north. Okay? Headed north downriver this way to this area here called Weaver's Hollow. That's the first spider cave. This one's called Scuttler's Shortcut. No, there's another one right up here that leads to the spider boss. Forget what her name is, but she's did a video on that months back. Actually had a friend of mine on the server I was on at the time take me in there and show that to me. I was definitely along for the ride. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to run down here, and if you're just getting started, you're just starting out, I don't forget which ones I dragged on there, so I'm going to drag these down here and drag my flint on here. After level 30, do I still have my old bow on me? No, it's in inventory. somewhere. After level 30 or so, this is a pretty good bow. And you run down this path, which is above the river, and there's your first spider right there. And the way that the AI works in this game so far is if you can get something far enough away, it takes them a while to even react to you. And of course, if you're using good ammo, and I'm just using the flint head arrows here, you can reach out and touch somebody. And this is another thing about the bows, is the first shot very rarely ever fires. Watch where it goes, adjust your shot. Am I too long or too short? I'm too short. I'm interested in talking to you guys, and I'm not watching what I'm doing. And in the middle of your reticle, you get a report, like a smaller mirror image of that reticle, that you were actually hitting the target. Not exactly realistic, but you got to aim that bow without any help. So when you get up here, it took 4 arrows on hit, and he was dead. And these are some pretty feisty little critters. About 10 levels ago, I came up here and tried to do this with the lesser bow and got cornered by one, and I just did not have enough hit points to survive the poison, and they will hit you with some poison. So another good thing to have when you're going to do this mission again is some aloe extract, which you get from collecting some aloe leaves and throwing them in a fireball cauldron. It's pretty simple. The recipe for that's automatic. And I like to have ambrosia on me, which comes from a Mitra shrine. You come down here, and there's another one of those guys right in here, and there's one that's usually right in here. There he is. We're going to get him first. He loves to hide behind the bushes. There he is. 2, 3, 4. Don't get nervous, just keep firing. Uh-oh. You're going to see us down some ambrosia. And let's see, I am 44, right? Yeah, I'm level 44, so I've got some hit points. I've got some things put together. But the poison doesn't last too long, but if you don't have anything to counteract it, it can kill you if you're low on hit points. So here's the other thing, is I've got a tool on me called a steel poniard. And that's basically a dagger, and you use it with your offhand. And usually using that, you get more of the good stuff from your kills. In this case, spiders will yield you more gossamer and more, what's that other stuff called? Ichor. And that's what you're looking for. And the other thing is, depending on your server, sometimes it takes a while to make silk. So if you're looking to have a pile of silk so that you can fix your bow and repair the thing, you basically want to do this on the fly. Come over here and do this. Get it running, because it does take a while to make it. And of course, you don't want your bow to break on you while you're hoping to use it. And the bow, well, we're going to go over those other ones in a minute, will help you level when you're young, because you can take down things that you don't really want to stand next to and try and kill. But with 8 or 10 arrows on something, I remember killing these at like level 3 or 4. As soon as I got my bow, when can you get a bow? You can get archer at level 5. Okay, so as soon as I was able to get it, I got that, started making flint head arrows. And to keep something from getting to you, it's real simple. Just don't stand on their level. I can even stand up here and fire down on something, and it just, the AI is to the point where it doesn't know what to do with it yet. So it, unless it's fairly close, it doesn't usually come up around the corner and get to you. Even standing like this on top of a nearby rock will basically, and there's a spider right there, and one usually hides in the weeds right over here. Let's go over here. There he is. And from long distance, you can start putting fire on some critters These guys change directions when you're firing. There he is. And you know, since the arrows are sticks and stones, who cares how many you fire? But get good at this thing, because when you're making, when you're making razor arrows to keep up with these guys that have a ton of hit points and good armor later on in game, you don't want to be wasting arrows trying to find range and stuff like that. You do want to get pretty good at estimating it. So get good at it with the cheap arrows with the cheap bow, because they work the same way. The dynamics are the same. So here we are. This is one of the spider's cave, and I think this one's called Weaver's Hollow. This is Weaver's Hollow, and right down here, I'll take you into that one. But last time I was into that one was about 10, 12 levels ago, and I got cornered by 2 or 3 spiders, and they all poisoned me, and I didn't have enough hit points or regen to keep up with it. And here's one of the things that happens. You notice the screen went purple. This is one of the areas in-game where you're picking up something called corruption, over in the upper left-hand corner. You can come in here and pick these up. This is the silk that's on the ground, gossamer. But what I want to do with a bow is I want to get the jump on these guys. Find your range. These guys are being a little smarter than they were last time I was in. Always firing back. My experience, you've got about 6 of these in cave, and what I do with these, the stuff on the ground isn't going anywhere, and it's the stuff that's crawling around in the cave that will get you into trouble, and these guys will be there for a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to spot where the rest of them are, and I'm going to start taking them down. Remember, it's good to have a count of just how many hit points they've got and how much damage your arrows do, so that you know how many arrows you need to put on target. Before you know they're dead. There we go. Now, the ones behind me are dead. They're not going anywhere. So I'm going to run down here. And I need to have something to eat real quick. And if you notice on my health and stamina bar, I'm picking up corruption. Which is why you want to have dancers back at your base, because they cure the corruption. But you want to come down here and notice I haven't been bit. This actually went pretty well. The next cave probably won't go that well. But get the spiders, look around the edge of the cave for... there's a few more down there. Remember what I said about being up on top of something. Now, this is a window down into where the boss spawns, which spawns right on the table, and it's a proximity spawn, from what I remember. But you actually access that cave from the cave over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to run up to the top, looking for piles of silk along the way, a gossamer, And notice that there's quite a bit of it on the cave floor, but since you just got the mobs down, this stuff isn't going anywhere. You can pick it up later after everything's dead, which makes it nice and safe for you. And notice on this run, I haven't been bit. I'm not in danger, although I'm picking up quite a bit of corruption because I'm spending time talking to you. But I'm going straight back to my base. And if you're looking to pick up silk so that you can have, which is an ingredient for the really nice ancient bow. If you're looking to get silk, this is an easy way to do it in Weaver's Hollow. And of course, if you're, if you actually have a base in this area, this is a pretty convenient place to come. From where I am at the Hand of the Creator, it's right down the street. And one more thing, right around the corner over here is a little patch. Let's see if I can climb up here. Yeah, where you can pick up some of the necessary things you need, like aloe. And you pick this stuff up. And when you put that in a cauldron, 10 of them will get you a little potion like this, which will give you regen. So, taking a look at how much gossamer we have, that little trip in there got us 217 gossamer. Okay, and we already got some of it rolling. We came in here with about 30 of them. So, to come up with 120 or so silk in one little trip, it will keep your bow, not only you'll be able to make the thing with the required silk, but you'll be able to repair it, which is really important. So, that's basically how to run that stuff. I encourage you very much to put a bow together. Okay, just a little snippet here. I told you we were picking up corruption there in the cave, and I just want to show you that for the corruption that we've got built up from being in Weaver's Hollow, how quickly it dissipates when you get back to your base and get under the influence of your dancers. So here we are back at the base. I'm going to check on the guys I've got in my wheel of pain, see if anybody's done yet. Hey, somebody's finally done. And that would be our priest. Okay. But as we get back here, notice we've got medium corruption, purple, and our dancer should start working on that. If you're looking at my gauges up at the upper left-hand corner, you see the corruption getting a little bit smaller, and that's the purple getting smaller and the white starting to go away. So that's basically how that works. We are on the map. We're up here in the middle of the old area, long before we get up north of the oasis. So there's another good place to pick up some spiders. This is over by the sinkhole in the middle of the desert. Bring water with you, of course. And up along that ridge, some spiders tend to spawn, which I'm going to go over there and see if we can catch some. These are a lot easier than the other ones we were hunting. These only take 2 shots. And I'm still using flint arrows. Because I don't want to wonder where the hyena's at. So up along this wall, usually hiding. work it from a distance, they'll be dead long before they can get to you. And of course the auto return system down that hill isn't a bad thing. I forget what that city is called. I haven't been there yet. It's right in this area. One more place to pick up spiders. And lots of hyenas. And if you're, you're trying to level. If you're trying to level and you're running around with a bow, and you can drop these guys that easy because you're getting good with a bow, you will level pretty quick. If you can hit what you're aiming at. And of course, if you're trying to get somewhere and it's got all these guys blocking your passage, and you can take them down with 2 well-aimed arrows, you can get where you're going a lot easier. And this place is usually heat stroke ridden. Has a couple of rhinos around. Which you want to be careful of. Rhinos are pretty easy to drop when you can use a bow and you've got a pretty strong bow, and free arrows, with I've noticed these guys are pretty stout also. But I just got bit, so I'm going to hit some ambrosia. They're a little hard to take down. There's another one up there. Let's see if I can get his attention and bring him to me. Boink. Boink. Remember, it takes 4 of them to die. Oh. We've got quite a few of them coming at me. Likely poisoned and having some heat stroke, which is what makes it tough to be up here. Okay, so here's how this works. I'm up on top of something, he can't get to me, he's not going to be able to figure this out. And he's just going to sit there. He's going to start coming in my direction, and I've got heat stroke. The thing is, he's going to get over here, and then he's going to stop because he can't get up on my level, and they haven't programmed the AI to figure this one out yet. Okay, so I had about 200 arrows, flint head arrows with the Hyrcanian bow, and I got up at 60 left, so that took about 140 of those bad boys. So just understand that, you know, as long as you're up on top of something and you can keep yourself safe, this is not impossible. Okay, and here's what we've been working for. We just dinged 45. We're going to turn around to our carpenter's bench after we have, of course, gone into our feats area and found our ancient bow recipe. I do like the damage on the Khopesh. I do like a sword, and of course you need the ancient scholar for that too. That enables those things, and the ancient shield if you happen to like using a shield in tougher situations. We go to the carpenter's bench now that we have unlocked that recipe, and the ancient bow recipe is in the carpenter's bench, and I've already got some things in here like branches, thick leather. I brought along some silk, which we put together, chasing them around the spider cave. And let's see, what else did we need? We need 50 steel bars. And this is where having a smelter comes in handy, because he'll make your process of generating steel bars a whole lot more efficient, so you're not wasting your materials. But that's our ancient bow going, and we picked up a blacksmith also, which is good for what I'm going to do next, which is improve a sword, which is the ancient Khopesh. Got branches, got steel. I'll take one of those, and if you'll notice that I'm in line here, and if I wanted to get rid of those, I just click them off, move that up to the front of the line, and then go back into my recipes and click them back on. I forget how many I had cooking. We'll just do that. Don't want to spend all my resources. And I've got myself a new sword. I've barely broken in my longsword. Sometimes, depending on how fast the server levels, I won't even bother getting a longsword. I'll just wait for the ancient Khopesh. But there are those upgrades, and one of the other nice things that you've got too is with your blacksmith. After one of the more recent updates is you can do one of these things. Tool upgrades are good. They make your tools last a little longer before they need repaired. Weapon reinforcements make weapons more durable. They need fixed less often, so we'll do 2 of those, and we'll add them to our new weapons. And you do that in inventory, I believe. Notice I did that to my bow because I've been using my bow for quite a while. However, and we're going to do this again. So there's those 2. You put your weapons in inventory. Make sure that they are repaired, and since I just made them, of course, they're going to be repaired. And you just take your simple weapon reinforcement, drag it on top of what you got, and your weapons will last a little longer. This is K9. I thank you for joining me, and hope I didn't take too much time to explain how to use this stuff. So I wish you well. If you like the video, like the information, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel so other people can find this information more easily and get in Conan and kill some spiders. Go have a good time. This is K9. I'm out.